Well, here's a question I get all the time. Any topics I should avoid? And the answer is yes. Don't talk about breaking the law, committing academic dishonesty, talking about cheating or plagiarism, and probably best to avoid really controversial topics. But for other topics, the answer isn't so simple. Students do tend to gravitate toward the same set of topics. And because they're so popular, they become a little tiring for the reader. I have read so many essays, and while I can watch the same episode of The Office 20 times, I do get bored reading the same essay topic 20 times. I mean, it's not fair, it's what it is. For example, application readers often read the same essay from engineering hopefuls. It's the I played with Legos all the time when I was a kid essay. Maybe you talk about another building material to showcase your love of design and problem solving, because the minute the word Lego appears, your reader probably just checked out a little bit. I mean, they are human after all. With that said, I don't think there are many other topics I would outright say avoid at all cost. Rather, I say proceed with caution. Just be aware that the following topics I'm going to share are overused. So if you do choose one, that's okay, but you better dig so deep and come up with enough highly personalized detail and reflection that your version sets you apart. So what's overplayed? Number one, trips. Even service trips or mission trips, trips that I won't argue affected you deeply and probably changed your worldview. Still, so many people have had that kind of experience that it loses a little bit of its power when a reader reads it, even if it was meaningful to you. Number two, athletic injuries. Number three, athletic victories like you helped your team win the finals. Death of a loved one. I have mixed feelings on this one. Some admission consultants say be very careful or even avoid this topic, but I say losing someone like a parent, that's a life-altering event. It shapes you greatly. I think there's a merit in sharing a loss as long as the loss impacts who you've become and you can share in detail what that process of self-development looked like. And remember, if you do talk about someone else, make sure the essay is still about you. Students sometimes feel guilty bringing up a loved one, especially if they've had a hardship that's impacted them. Like you're using the hardship, especially of another person, to get into college. I think it makes students feel icky, but I really want you to let that go. If another person's experience directly impacts you, your own experience, such as a sibling's condition or an extended illness in your family, it is part of your story as well. And it is totally appropriate as long as you focus on your experience within that other person's experience. Next, we have immigration stories. So just like death, moving to a new place and maybe learning another language is a massive life shaper. The issue is that in the United States, especially, immigration stories are common. So if you do share this part of you, make sure it goes beyond the basics of what it was like to assimilate to a new culture. I would say choose a story within the immigration story, like the time you experienced an inequality, an inequity because you immigrated. I think this topic could be quite powerful if you get specific enough and find a unique theme. You just have to dive beneath the surface. I highly vote for mind mapping this one out. Similarly, be very careful about bringing up your family's immigration story. Ugh, I cringe at the thought of my college essay. I talked all about my family's immigration story, but I didn't immigrate. So this story, while it did shape my sense of self, it's not really my story. And I'm sure learning about my great-grandfather's refugee status fell a little flat to admissions officers because my great-grandfather wasn't applying, I was. So just make sure any story you tell is ultimately about you. The bottom line is readers want to learn something new. If they've read 1,000 essays about a trip to Costa Rica and how it changed someone's life, and in comes your essay, Essay 1001, about your Costa Rica trip changing your life, you'll probably lose your reader a little. So your final tip is this: no matter what you write, after every essay, ask yourself, if I put someone else's name on this essay, could they pass it off as their own? Meaning, if you wrote an essay about how losing your grandpa was so difficult, and of course it was, but any other applicant who's lost a grandparent could have written nearly the same words, it's probably too general. I don't learn enough about you. So your choice from there is to toss it or revise it.